Shall season R3 Allen Hazen to Kai Hasazer number nicht da Shagas well had da game I can give a show due with BBC Alpha hashing a Partick le Partick Thistle agus Dundee United agus an Ocean be Glasgow City and skip it of Wonichen League and the be Asen Aking give Nasanamiche agus Asen Adol and the Hibernian agus Gajera Lamore is fake no duke car slan son SWPL has Spartans well Asen Kusval to the Rangers for Stud manager agus quite the makers on Montrose skipper Ursa League Asen Dool and Reichberju Asen Adol and the Celtic ach la inchnoch vis out a Duke Gajera Hashing a show ag Partick, Peters Hill and the Glasgow as mar a hús mi da game I can give you ach hashing in Toshigug le Partick Thistle Adol and Dundee United Hello, Fisker, Maggie, Vakarchen, Gur, Game, Palakosha, Bio, a show, BBC Alpha, Eden Yesker, Hanna, Turuk, Dras, Green, Jersuk, Amitoliche, Shinera, Agus Kuchok, a Bortu, Racking, Season, Racking, Kuchok, Agus, a cheese, Colodum, Drasta, Emma Black, Agus, Suzanne Lappen. Welcome, Emma, welcome, Suzanne. It's a new season. The new season is upon us. Such an exciting time. Suzanne, are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, very much looking forward to it. You know, last season, how it ended, you know, the dramatic finish we had, you know, the quality we had throughout the year, you know, just excited to see it start again.
Emma, reflecting on last season, it was a historic season in so many ways. Record attendances, we had the top six, we had playoffs. How much are you looking forward to the season ahead?
Yeah, I think it's going to be extremely difficult to replicate last season, given obviously the dramatic finish, as Suzanne had touched on. You know, having the top three teams fighting it out the last game of the season to get their hands on that league title and Champions League spot. So, listen, I really hope it will be something similar this season, and I totally believe that will happen. You know, each club, each team has developed, has grown, and I hope to see that.
Suzanne, you were there at Ibrox when Lauren Davidson scored that last-minute goal to win the league title for Glasgow City. How do the league replicate what happened last season, the drama and all the rest of it that came with the final few weeks of the season? It's going to be hard.
It's going to be very difficult because the season in itself, you know, last year was great. How it finished, you know, was even better. You know, the country was gripped to women's football, and it's really, really important that we take that forward. You know, it's important that the clubs invest, you know, and it's important that the teams keep training, keep improving. And I think, you know, we are in for an exciting season ahead.
Absolutely, and we have two games live here on BBC Alpha today. We have Glasgow City, the champions, going up against Hibernian later on. That's at 5 o'clock. But just now we have Partick Thistle going up against Dundee United. Emma, first looking at Partick Thistle, the home side here today. I mean, what a season they had last time out.
Yeah, it was incredible last season. I think a lot of people had actually written Partick Thistle off in terms of they shouldn't really be in the top six, but having watched them on a number of occasions, they totally deserved to be there. I think they did have a slow start to the season last season, but you know, as the games came around, you know, they continued to grow, they continued to develop. You know, each individual player grew, and they bought into Brian Graham's philosophy and the way of playing. So I see it no different this season. You know, I think for me they'll be looking for top six once again.
Suzanne, just touching on that top six once again, do you think they can achieve that? And could they even close the gap on the likes of Hibs, Hearts, the top three?
Yeah, why not? To be honest, you know, I was really impressed with Partick Thistle last season. As Emma said, you know, Brian Graham has put his own stamp on the team. You can see that. You know, the players have bought into his philosophy, as Emma said. You know, he's brought in new signings as well, I think about 9 in total. You know, and I think he touched on during the week when he was speaking about the team and his hopes, you know, top six is a must. But I think for him as well, he wants to go and get a result against one of those top sides, and you know, I don't see any reason why they can't do that.
Well, a successful season then for Partick Thistle last time out. Dundee United, their first season in the SWPL, they managed to avoid the drop, they managed to avoid the dreaded playoffs. What does success look like for Graham Hart and his players, though, this time around? I
think it will be another tough season for them. You know, they did have their dramatic end to the season last season, as you touched on. They got that vital victory against Hamilton to avoid that playoff. It's going to be extremely difficult. I think, for me, they have lost their captain, their leader, their goal scorer, their go-to player in Danny McGinley, who's went and signed for Hearts. So that's a huge loss for them. And not only that, Fiona McNichol, their goalkeeper, I thought she was tremendous last season. You know, she'd pulled off fantastic saves, you know, keeping the scoreline down. But for me, success for Dundee United this season will be try and retain the status of SWPL 1, but it will be extremely difficult.
Yeah, and Suzanne, Emma there mentioned Danny McGinley, the captain. She scored 17 goals last season, the third highest in the league. How do you go about replacing a player like that? It must be so difficult.
Yeah, I think that stat you touched on, that's an incredible stat for a team that, is fighting at the bottom of the table. As Emma said, she was their go-to for goals, but last season's gone, it's done and dusted. They've had their time in pre-season. I'm sure they've got a game plan here today, and it's about other players, stepping into that and taking on the mantle of being the difference for the team.
Look, I know we have Glasgow City later on, so we'll touch more on the title race and stuff, but I have to ask you both before the first game kicks off. Season predictions, what are we going to see? You first, Suzanne?
You know what, last season, obviously, I don't think, being honest, anyone thought Glasgow City were going to be the ones coming out on top with the way that Celtic and Rangers had strengthened. But for me, I'm going to go with Celtic this year. I was really impressed with them last season, and I know Fran is desperate to get that league title.
Emma?
It's difficult again. I've obviously echoed what Sue has said there about Glasgow City. I think for me, I think it'll be Rangers. I think they did have to freshen up. They've brought in a new manager. They've brought in some exciting players. They're getting players back from injury like Jane Ross. So I think for me, it'll be Rangers.
Let's see what happens. Thank you both for your contribution just now. Agus cling sin barach ho Emma Tron again bíse an cúteadis arneach adis agus sin far sin atol a drasa an nul. Gurneach adis is on a hiad game making a show due Partick Thistle atol na Dundee United and cúteadi Alec O'Henley.
Morning thank you Vinchel. A green chuch chinamach an naun. Agus Partick Thistle chinamach a gu chewn yna fad agus at the fiachin dishe Maachach is a chiad le yn y ffyr liga gian maswrn gaif stoch a gynna se ar pwlwch agus Dundee United at ein gynna wyslia y mach yn y parc y sioe croch Partick farafel y gicht led asiag Glasgow City chys na ddies jach Ronashin chys na game set at Partick Thistle agus Dundee United agus sio neach mynd y skipi yn y cead gen y clichet an ŵr ag Brian Graham Tasha Chwydw Emma Lawton agus Cody Hay ag lwys fo tŵper na mart rhan tawri agus Lucy Sinclair a chunnishins na playoffs is on Hamilton Yankees. I should close that the shot Kuchach Maraha Rosie McQuillan hasn't the fankin Halish in the play in the next Spartans. I guess be at the point the Cara Henderson Kasoricha this the third line I can know Mariraini no United a days in the high. It's on United Arichin Gilior as a skip Achis and Kuchach Kasoricha a cool for a vil Megan Sidey then a stay and a push Jade Wilson Nicola Jameson agus Katie Frew Kuchach Kamisk na glichet an ŵr agus the Danny McGinley falla mar a chwla sin tuolach go I the fôr idd Rachel Todd ac yn oe na tŵr ein is on United e desensa. Agus mae gydig United as na strap yn ŵan iachgus yn y falafantau China mach a fian y padke is on a game chwyd gydol agus idd eich yn tiach hechan at tuchtym sias ac tiad yn y seis an charon nach a da pwyngiach fa game bashin Gusty Park get at a is Hamilton Yankees vier goed te mechlieg ja pingelnure bashin kiljaarson gumal suas I guess ja de dag is een route die no blian I mean avres be natuurlijk more an a barach keurt as Jano I guess ik het aan afgesen tjech het nou again fachkel korlige me jede van een coach genachke reach dat in je Ryan Kennedy Svian, come on, smack it cushion. I guess Marisage, Toshan is season, Skippy Krunyaku is on Jalana Hokal. I guess United here's for in Haas, Kablach again Suez is on the game set. Richard Akaville, Emma Black, Chilnor's going to Spittish call them, and Emma for these two sides. It's so important to get the season off to a winning start. 3 points in the bag.
Absolutely, I think both teams struggled at the start of last season and struggled to pick up points to begin with, but each team's got to start the ground running. It's been a long pre-season. The players now will just be itching to get out there, start competitive football, and they'll be looking obviously to take in what they had and what they've been through at pre-season, take that into competitive football.
United, double good good though. I guess, wel, gaan je poelen haas door haar Partick Thistle haas, dat ze Gerkel achterheen. I guess, zijn een veel gefuist nog die skipper Brian Graham, prettig gevallen van een Gerkel achtersen. I guess, Megan Cunningham, misschien chase wie een huisje Jackley, ja, goed terugkijken. Die is het, die is J. Desense voor Rangers. Chishal is aan Tasha geweest. I guess, United, Rachel Todd. In de sport zo'n game goed getol geisen. Skip uit uur United kutje geen decense. Le McGinn leek vaak al. Haast reach de vuur McGinn geen nooit dat hij ze mag leen. United tasje goede game, maar is kut me gefijne klicht aan een schön dat je cool, je zoek tra in de val. Dan is het de vier die hoek al zo is live is. Leo Delworth vier die open gezoek go Todd. Harsing, me en Jolene Gian. I guess Idash Gesaveltje, Nicola Jameson. Delworth, I guess always group of Suez Rish Todd. Important, Emma, for these new players, especially in that United defence, new players coming in, important to get an early touch and to get a good understanding early on in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. The back line and also a new goalkeeper, Megan Sidey, who's signed from St Johnstone. So it's important then for them, as you say, the communication is key, especially from the back line to the goalkeeper, and to get touches on the ball. You know, it just builds your confidence throughout the game.
Like I say, do wel op die Partick Thistle is aan één pie gedaan, Jenna Keener. Hij had de bal goed gemaakt, gevoerd. Robin Smith, wat je geen fijn zoes, alleen nee, die bal van United gebring je bal goed maar steken daar. Dat is Slater. En los het zoes, Lucy Sinclair, gebring je ze goed maar, like is yes, je gaat de goper pas draaien. United, Sidey, va check playen uit in de push, Jackson Johnston, die bal hard zoes. I guess Jamie Faulkner, Marisage, Creel in Gian Partick. Vloekje, Suez Elena. I guess he had Veilski get a duel. I guess Megan Cunningham, Gina Mach, Jenna Keenach, Nachayek, Rachel Todd. Waarom tra? Thistle viechen de Chechia doen ze eigenlijk ook al een baltje laten. En is gaan naar Cara Henderson ikke.
Robin, just narrow slightly. Don't let that first pass through you. Let it go full back.
En Graham, coach Partick Thistle, coach ook skippen dat skippen de ver. Terug laag is in de G, ga je de DR3. Ja, Cahoon is de championship. Ja, dat is een skip in de baan. Naar Sharaju. De woes je Graham Hart raken de show. Het hechtje smoe. Hij is in het een bonne club who skip in de baan. Dat is een geschulting. Maar aan een clubje. Park erop ze. En is het dus een skip in de bodem in de jachtje. Als de vijfde Chechia het gaat hem als de game zit. En is koers 3 minuten in de vlog. Tra haast. Cunningham. Shamachko Slater. Wat je meer alleen het Gian de juice als je wie moet je het cool glee. Claire Doherty had Torsha geweest in de juice shot. Bal naar Sjaar. Ik zat de goal trouwen shot. Sidey mag. Ik geen toe dat de vallen was. Ik de bal dat de goed gaan leren. Cara Henderson hoe dat zo maar gedig in de schön. Ik is drog verder. Lucy Sinclair de bal zal trouwen. Dus je hier toch gaat hem sabelig. But Megan Sidey had put in the ball the Kuma and Emma, she came out to smother the initial effort but couldn't hold the ball, and Cara Henderson doing what she does, following up and putting in the net.
Yeah, it was a good finish. It was good link-up play by Claire Doherty at the left-hand side. You know, Rosie McQuill put a fantastic ball in, and that's what Lucy Sinclair gives you, playing in that number 10 role, just working very closely to Henderson. You know, it was a great run, you know, breaking the lines from Sinclair there. And, you know, Megan's come out, she's not managed to get anything on it. Lucy's obviously followed it up, and then there you have Henderson. You know, she scored some vital goals last season, and great start for Partick Thistle.
It's a horrible ball for a goalkeeper and a defender to deal with. Someone has to take responsibility. Neither really did so there.
No, they didn't. It's almost like a car crash, isn't it? You know, you've got the goalkeeper racing out, you've got the midfielder, attacking midfielder running towards you, and the ball's in the middle, and it's just ricocheted. You know, Megan said he just couldn't get enough on it to retain the ball, and who was there to follow up was Henderson. You know, and as I said, she scored vital goals for them last season. She scored 2 against United last season, so you know she's playing in a different role. You know, she's took to that number 9 role very well. You know, we've seen her last season more playing in a midfield role or a wider right role, but you know she's now their go-to player. She's got the number 9 on her back, and what a fantastic start.
Ja, en de Shadara Turline sin, Abby Ferguson a vision Shadara Parsh en de Dees Racha, je dees het voor Celtic ach Henderson, 4 goedsemigers en Partick Thistle, I guess hij de Giet Hul, en de Dees en ach Jain. I guess Lucy Sinclair kutje geschulting na Gunnushin Hamilton Akis is a game playoff vision in the Gart Kearnick, Jid and Seas and Gokutrmach Savai guys and nach Nishik Partick Thistles, kind Colloch could be Isha my guys and me and a Partick. Saidi, Isha Vidipamach, Nachanyalato, Nasacha and me and a Partick. Amy Bullocks, Rebecca McGowan station is on Thistle United, Gahorjamach. En Fraser, Tarsing, me and the Partick. Hier staat de ploeg tegen de Aschketa. Fraser Gairi, Suus alleen in de eerste en je bal is gemaakt. Nicola Jameson, Norsen, Tarsing, en Jenny Keenan, en Gaik Thistle, Suus alleen get de ha. Kafak them a lot and Sinclair Revere, I say the eerste is vallig niet jacht klachkus en Lelia Saidi en de goede bas. Barb, Saidi, Yes Chenela, Fankoli Nuanya, Emma Lawton, Nish Chadash, Bal Mac Gilior, Falconer, Shinad Hoshaka Todds, and Orson Fiacadi, Bal Cody Hay, Susalina, Yes, Jameson and Jenama, Startuch. Kaffa got a fine of that, Cody Hay, Fiachan define she is a line of Hunuri Bowler State. Look at the Hanik vote. Keeper Namar, a days and a high, Lua, Suus, Lane, Gamachi, the Sadoi, Clicka here. Katie Fru, a Bleanich and Spartans. Chinka United Kuchuk, called the Jameson. Tikshakilor at the Regiation, a Ducey and a Fatk. Jade Wilson's clear, Delworth, they do well. Falconer, Streich Bard, Bullock, Kachuchugad, McGowan, Yahan the Ein Troiko Henderson, Blishchiastoch, Sinclair, Kahumal Bell, McGowan, Kumasach, 2 line Boaster, Marathonish and Days and a high. But Emma Partick Thistle, Brian Graham will be pleased. They've started with the right intensity, they've got the early goal, they look like they're enjoying this now.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's almost like a different look. You know, you've got Claire Docherty playing at left back today. Previously, she was last season at right back. You've got Rosie Slater slotting into the centre back role as well. But no, what a fantastic start they've had. And as you say, they're playing with real tempo. You know, they're not giving Dundee United time on the ball. You know, they're closing them down. You've got Emma Lawton at the right back here, and no signing for Partick Thistle. But she started the game extremely well. You know, she's playing close to Cody Hay, so she's given that support play there. But I've been really impressed so far by Lucy Sinclair in that number 10 role. I think Leah Sidey will have her work cut out today. You know, it's almost like she's trying to man mark her, but you know, she's a talented young player, Lucy. You know, she's come through the ranks at Glasgow City, had a good season with Hamilton last year in SWPL 1, and then she's then taken that step up and came to Partick Thistle, and she had a good start to the season also. So Brian Graham will be extremely happy, he'll be delighted, that they've had a good start, and it's just all about then maintaining this start.
Madras, Bowlick United, Duval. Kemi Canilla, I guess Rangers at Hoshach Maras again, Machine Spartans, Follow Day, Til Kenyani Ishin. Show, Til Kenyani Kuchuk, son Partick Thistle. Faulkner, I guess Slater, Creel in a Gian Thistle. Yeah, and the Cheval line to Scott Sinclair a ddíis, chad a gáil macha I dúbháil. Henderson, fúdach I gynnuid, yn y cynnig nach al bal fúdus ys y bydych ddech mach fan y chŵl. Jade Wilson, fel gwsios wrth y lein y. Mwr yn chwichet yn yn ffasgor y gyda. Todd, diolch yn di chwtioch yw ysteg yn y fiaid. Diolch chwichet yn ag Thistle sy'n Michael a chap ddysgwch gyffafarach y sio. Son Joan Fraser. Bawl ward, a chynnyl dynnu sy'n. Corndal Gilior, the Megan Cunningham. Jailik this, and important that they managed to get Megan Cunningham back on loan again. She was the difference so many times for Partick Thistle last season.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. What a vital signing that was to try to get her back for the full season. It's obviously disappointing she can't play against Rangers when those fixtures come about, but you know she's a real important player for Partick Thistle. She's a real leader on and off the pitch, you know, and she's got a lot of experience. She played at a lot of number of top clubs, and having a player like Megan in that changing room, you know, it'll just rub off the players round about her. She's got real leadership qualities, as I've mentioned, and last season she was fantastic. She pulled off some vital saves.
Die charm geworden son Cody Hay ach Jameson Bruni the Val the Dosh ach Chile ada Shid United. Katie Fru Dadash van Jikli ach Girisu ag the Val Savinach Henderson could kucha mar up fiach in the merach gehaal Lawton Havor Kavinje Kadash Fru Maybe Satagustech va Cody Hay verder ging dan ik zo maar jede verder ligt het Gian of nu het al duur As an Orson, Mitchell totally easy. Karen Koers, Emma Lawton, Georgie is fine. Jachin Chimichel, ze scoop kassen, vallen voetbal. Faulkner, twee dus. Niet wel zo scoren, voksen. Ja, ik het. Coolach waar wat het hosje Lawton. Is maar eens een graad Chickley Juda United van Fiona McNichols. Garaf kutter mag even hadden ze een play in de kin. I guess like inside the initial schon motion. Die is gamas het Todd. Hier toe je maken jaren aan Karamushi heen eine dash. Schon skippelt het. Miana Pathke, Genoorsen, Shissa with the Valation by Georgie Robb. Faulkner, wie is het tasje gewonnen goed, Harsenko. Rosie Slater, I guess who is wie is gonna be Shinna Shar, but Jade Wilson, Lach ik look at that Thistle like a rage at the Cordham na féin the Thistle Bristol Lawton the Cheval the stay I guess Shachate Khulatinja I guess that was probably good refereeing there Emma there was probably a free kick there but he saw the advantage was with Thistle just they couldn't capitalise on with the ball in from Lawton.
Yeah, it was good from the referee. You know, Partick Thistle were certainly on the front foot. They were attacking and Emma Lawton down this right hand side getting forward again, but it was just a disappointing cross. She just has to get more whip in it, you know, because the space was there behind the back line for Dundee United, but it was Henderson involved once again. You know, the link up play and you can see her here fighting with Jameson, you know, and it's just something different to her game that we're not used to seeing her being that close and that tight to the centre backs and obviously looking to have that physicality, and she's doing extremely well so far.
Alwaar de geweest Faulkner zo raad Sinclair vegen de route in een die eerste bal tot Tranje Sinclair vegen de fijneke new feature in the state with Jameson. I think she knew that challenge was coming and she was holding back a wee bit there, Lucy Sinclair, but again showing her willingness to break into the box and get on the end of those second balls.
Yeah, it was, and that's what Lucy will bring you in that number 10 role. As I've touched on at the beginning of the game, she'll look to break those lines, she'll look to make those forward runs on top of the Dundee United defence. And what I'm also impressed with is Rosie McClellan. She's coming off the wide left and getting involved also and playing more in the pitch, which then opens up space for Claire Docherty down the left.
The Bosch Yard van Goel. I guess Gianna Ma is in. Als je de Bosch Eleve samen van de Duval. Cassie Cooper, misschien hoe de Soer de Schindler de count. Demi Faulkner de Koolu. Kafake de Thistle legaal geta. Cody Hay de goal 0 gaan de Duvel. Faulkner die is chauffeur Henderson en Canoe. I guess de Coutu Velin. Jint het goed voor United. Saidi Gadic. Falcon United na clúcha danach go Canoe and you've cús achke Namashat. Dulich de Rachel Todd goes sin le héin. Agus dún an a roineach Megan Cunningham go 2-2. Rosie Slater a dún dúh. Altan a ré dúh eile. Sin dwat a thoiseach it Claire Docherty a dúh. I guess from United's point of view, Emma, the good thing is they've not conceded again. They've managed to get themselves back in and stabilise things after losing that early goal.
Yes, they have. I think what they're finding difficult is ball retention. You know, there's quite a lot of turnovers in play, there's a lot of transitions in play, and they're finding it difficult to keep the ball. You know, Rachel Todd up top, you know, she's trying to fill those boots of Danny McGinley, but she's a huge ask. You know, that's a massive player that Dundee United had last season. Obviously she's away to Hearts this season, but you know, it's just trying to retain the ball, which is difficult. But you can see here on that instance there, you know, you've got McGowan and Lawton, you know, pressing the ball extremely hard. Partick Thistle running the ball back really quickly, but for Dundee United, they've just got to have that composure, they've just got to have that confidence in someone to take a grip of the game.
Lawton the DSJ Val, BG, Juval Tarsing, agus the screw up a gefall of the Claire Delworth. Excellent ball in, and it was good defending, you have to say, from Claire Delworth. Stayed composed and swept it away for a corner.
Yeah, what a fantastic ball from Cody Hay, you know, and she's just taken her first good touch, you know, she's just set herself up nicely and she's just whipped it in. Great area, you know, you're just dying out for somebody to come in there, but what a fantastic defending at the back post from Delworth. You know, she's got no idea who's coming in from behind her, but great awareness, you know, just to knock it out for a corner.
Hey, uadela van een Duval. De Boschen is Joey, de Boschen en Thistle. I guess, well, wie is geen schöne de Boschen pair. That's 2 corners, Emma, and they've both virtually gone into the side net, and so Cody Hale will looking to do better.
Absolutely, given that she's just put in a fantastic cross a few seconds before, but you can see obviously the way that Brian Graham has set his team up for set pieces, in particular corners. He's wanting an in-swinger. He's wanting an in-swinger, but he'll be disappointed. You've got to take advantage of set pieces in today's game. Of course you have. It's got that opportunity to put the ball in the mix and get your players up, like Faulkner, to go and attack it, but you will be disappointed. I've seen his reaction there when the ball did hit the side net, and he was disappointed there, but no, we've obviously just seen Cody Hayes got that in a locker. She can put a fantastic cross in, so she'll be personally disappointed with her 2 set pieces there.
United, viechen die opbrug is zoals de lijnen. I guess dat Saturday Jeff has to get in here, Partick Todd, Henderson, Fakel Jameson en Koolu. I guess an Orson, Jew Amos each in the stable. Katie Fru, a goed get British has come again. Door een Yisha nu bij Darakich. I guess United kaartje mag gaan terug. Georgie Rob, de Javil Shachat. I guess Keren Kero, Sur Vulia Shena Harich, the Torich, the Kellish game. cummal at all. But again, Emma, it's just that carelessness when United have the ball. Georgie Robb under no pressure just gives it back to Thistle.
Yeah, and just before that was poor defending from Jamieson. She just got too tight to Henderson, and Henderson just used her body and just rolled her. So it was poor defending there. But as I've said, they've just got to have that ball retention. They've just got to get someone like Casey Cowper, for example. You know, she's an experienced player. She's played in the league before. Just to go and take the game by the scruff of the neck. You know, someone to have that confidence, get the ball, look to make passes, help your teammates round about.
Karen Chich crochu is the game at Ras United. I've felt like Kunal on Kafu to get the Dara to the Howl, like Shin trying a kin triplage. You make inside it. The side it, Rash go Jameson. So we get the tune for a flick of like United. She something is Jack the Thistle of his own. Hey, you can do pretty good. Go Lawton. He's Jameson watches Shesu McCunny, which in the Kenya Nakai. Nasachach She, Satak Jack Hillazam. And the Taylor, she's gonna click it to the nail. Like Thistles, Rachel Donaldson. Yes, Rachel Donaldson, he gorstig met Tiction. She's good at the Khalisha Sansa Juach. She's Schulting, she's Dean of Casa, Squadak, like Thistle. Gowan, going to son Henderson Adish, I guess with Ella. Jade Wilson, Baltarsing, Skiplachu. Ups the heart of the Ligayan, Hogan United. I guess Kashgerak, Edu Val. Ishmikil, Docher to Pullach Tiction, Jay Hacha the Shin, and Nurin Yishakirich and Gilly, Kashgerak Gain. Ach, Ryan Kennedy, Gafoch, got Savinach. You know, when you're rooting a hoorch, Doherty, it's not immediately apparent, Emma, what happened there. Claire Doherty looked like she was working her way back. Was it maybe something she said? But the referee took offence and didn't have any hesitation. It was a straight red card.
Yeah, it was. I think Claire had a reaction because she felt it wasn't a foul against her, because she made a fantastic run forward. But Delworth's done well defending. But I think she's just clipped Delworth and gone into the box there, and obviously the free kick was given against her, but it must have been something that she said, because there's nothing else.
Challenge, is there nothing challenge?
No, absolutely not. There's nothing in the challenge whatsoever. But when the referee here in this instance blew for a free kick against Doherty, it looks like she's possibly said something there, but you can see by Claire's reaction as she doesn't feel that it deserves a red card, but we'll never know what she said. But you know, it's extremely disappointing for Partick Thistle. You know, they've started the first 22 minutes extremely well. You know, they've got their goal, they've got their lead, they're in control of the game, but going down to 10 players totally changes it. You know, you've got to obviously then change your tactics. Will they then look to change personnel? We will look to bring off an attacking player.
Some Tiction Karamas and Troch Heinz, I think we can confirm, Emma, that it was for foul and abusive language. So, yeah, Brian Graham won't be too happy with that.
No, absolutely not, especially not in this day and age. No, that's something that you can control. You've got to take control of your emotions when you're on the pitch. But no, that's obviously just not acceptable in this day and age, at this level or at any level whatsoever. So it's going to be a really extremely tough task now for Partick Thistle. Can they maintain the levels of pressure, the intensity that they've been playing at? You know, they'll have to obviously rejig their back line also. I think maybe Cody Hay maybe will slot further back in to help out, or maybe Rosie McQuail will then go to left back.
United vegen de Prague al en Savinac zijn hier toe is game. Ha toe is Sonoshan. I guess het bij Boshan ein. I guess show Goram guys and like look at the Varach condition. Nuringave Prague al e doe goed. Check the clean to Graham Hart. He's going to click it down into Kalakiri of the goal. She's going to down. The side ik Gronk Gadash stuk. This is Sinclair guy in a follow-up. I guess Femi Thistle just zocht gekuk. Toch aardig gehoord het groene skippen pikken. Ze winnen het Cody Hay, je getuigd in pikken naar Stenen. Saidi, Cawl of Wheel, me and a path, I guess, first enough to reach the serve the guy. I guess when you're in a court with Brian Graham, and that's more. Jenna Ferguson, Dollar is on Thistle. And I guess they'll get Rebecca McGowan. Tactical change, Emma?
Yeah, it has to be done, especially when you've lost somebody from your back line. I think we'll see maybe Rosie Slater now then going to left back and Ferguson slotted in that centre back role. And then, of course, then naturally what will happen then is Lucy St Clair then will drop deeper, almost playing like a 6 and 8 with Amy Bullock in the middle of the pitch there. So it's going to be a tough task for them. You know, and it will show a real strength of character and how the players react, especially the first game of the season. Certainly not what Brian Graham had planned for through the week, to have one of your players sent off. But, you know, I haven't been in that situation before as a player. You know, you just go on with it. You know, you've obviously got a task in hand. They've got the lead, they've got something to hold on to. But as I says, it's just maintaining those levels of intensity, the tempo of play that they started at. Whereas you look at Dundee United now, they'll be saying that's a little opportunity then for them. You know, there'll be more space on the pitch, especially in that midfield area, I believe. And also for United, I think their back line now will have more time and space on the ball, given Cara Henderson for me will drop a little bit deeper.
Van Graham, Geir Barach van een klichtje daar nekkessen. En Trinnigianos, Fiskara, tikken Bruinje. Die een haast de mooi, bla, dus traden deze en pushen naar hier ging een klichtje daar nekkessen. Here's fine, Van Graham haast de cumulatal Jispeta lische les reach dat men Garsierak feinig nu te terug gaan se biegleg is volgens en je leest een tolletje lische gogen met een hule toe. De gewoonje en is je gaat vegen die meurdig Kimmer is stuurd als skipper tron shot. Game of a kind of court als para voetigat vis munje de goal. Daar is het rest heel eens toch. Je pikken te wachten uit de wiande. Look at the shine hier. Jameson, Torres likele shot, de goal maar. Henderson, China de cool En Graham keer de skip back is een close to us. Look at the lot, Shock United. Can't call the Jade Wilson, I'm assuming, in the lot. Always an issue this early in the season, Emma. Players not quite fully fit, so any muscle strain can be a problem early in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it depends on the level of training that the players have had. You know, did they have an injury towards the end of the season last season? You have a couple of weeks off and then you're straight back at it for pre-season. And of course, all pre-season involves, everyone's well aware, is there's a lot of fitness work, a lot of running, to obviously try and get your fitness levels up to a very, very good standard in order to compete in the SWPL 1. And I think that's exactly the way the game's going now. There's obviously the fitness levels are much greater than previously, but no, hopefully it's nothing too serious and Wilson can get back up on her feet. No, she's just a new signing. It's came on board at United. She'll be hoping obviously to, look, she was holding her calf, I think it was, and as you says, it looks like a muscle strain or so, but hopefully she can get back on the pitch. Especially obviously given that they'll have that more space and time, as I mentioned, in that back line. Especially, I think, as I said, I think Henderson will drop deeper. They'll obviously have more space and time going forward, but we'll see obviously if she comes back on the pitch how long she lasts.
Die Sinclair Gertjevui, de daas de Thistles van die Karen Crew, je shin bo Leah Side, het Cody Hay, agus a gogan de goal de Thistle, I mean, naver is gebug Thistle stoch de Vikiri. the chluiche cymar y dolas yn o'r fa clwch dan y farach ach gyhwys. Ach a niwsi. Sciwn y fwyl o Saidi. I guess Gish through the Sabalak United.
Get it under control. Honestly, man,
Thistle so going to show Khadi Darakat, Fiachan the tortured against Saidi pick and up the Yano. I guess Shachat Edavanti Tarsinkin triplets to beat. Don't think that was ever going to cause Megan Saidi any problems, and having gone down to 10 men, Brian Graham will be looking at least to ask questions when he gets those set pieces.
Yeah, you've got to capitalise on them. I think Megan Saidi had that covered there. I think it was a long way from goal. I think there wasn't enough pace on it to trouble Megan from that distance. She certainly had it covered, but as I've mentioned at the beginning of the game there, Alex, set pieces are so vital nowadays in the game, and especially obviously Partick going down to the 10 players. They've got to certainly capitalise on that. I think for me it was in an upward angle. I think even maybe just change the angle of it and put it into the back post and allow your players like Demi Faulkner to go and attack it, Amy Bullock to go and attack it, you know, get it in the mix, because it's a tough ask if you're looking to beat any goalkeeper from that distance and that angle.
We're going to click it under a Hollish reach and as we start the game, Kus shot is Corum to United. Stochen Charlie Powell, a Kel Mellon and Partick, Cassie Cowper, for the click it and Echigal Suez Scott, or the Voxit, the Steve, look an e shot. And session for us that the Lucy Sinclair and Falavis, Vinich, Henderson, who could Kuchum with Claire Delworth, Amy Bullock, took Aladara Powell, Agus Sinclair. Roy Yeshin, but Cassie Cowper, Gamat Doing, Agus Yiach Sinclair, the Heenakumal. I thought that was quite close on first sight, Emma, and I thought she tried to check her run, knowing that Cassie Cowper was sufficiently deep, but maybe this will show us.
Yeah, I think she's actually on, because you can see Lucy Sinclair, she's looking along to see where Casey Cowper is, and she's had that quick scan, she's checked her rung, she's delayed it for a few seconds, and I think for me she's onside. I think that's the wrong decision, the linesman on that occasion there.
Sure, Corum, the Thistle of the East, Lisa Jenner, Cody Hay, Baltoin, Chuck Shachat and Henderson, I guess the East, Brachta Huas. I guess, she and all the Partick Thistle. That's the Lisa who you get the duel at the Diane.
Tell Megan just to relax and play. Stop kicking. That's what they want us to do. Kick it long. We need to play.
Carb na féin gana hoffikicher og Goganish and Karsta Geronishin. Gogani now Lucy Sinclair fatta Cap. Sinclair die is Cheval. So Megedig, Sheen for a flick of the United. Something is Jeff the Thistle. Henderson, Gachuchu, Edward, I guess inside the chain for a Linus, Gahukala, Hanani, here for Makada, Para Earp, yes, Rose McQuillan, Fiachandi, Brachula, Nakoran, Jeffga, the Hurricane, Humale, Val, the short side, I guess Action Lechorum to McQuillan. Slater, good to go the dash, cool fleet. Agus Ferguson and from the Bengi stay me and Lena Gian and Scotty Demi Faulkner. See that I gamin skill the she's good general. This is kind to need of a corner on a United muy Gian McQuillan the ball try it. Yes, you what the Hoshach. Henderson in the toe down for Smach. Even Bullock Kuchach Tarsing. Georgie Rob. Nothing yeesh shani Yanos on United. The decided to have the Kusunya the Vowels. Hey, got your dash with Lucy Sinclair. For all they're playing with 10, Emma, Thistle still bossing this game, still looking the likelier to score the second goal here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think obviously Partick Thistle are certainly still on top. You can't actually tell they're down to 10 players. You know, they're covering the ground extremely well. I think Lucy Sinclair and Amy Bullock in the middle of the park are obviously working their socks off. They're working extremely hard. And you've got Henderson who's dropping in a deeper role, but then she's looking to stretch it also. So yeah, Partick Thistle are still on top for me. They're still controlling the game. But Dundee United, we've got to have a reaction from them. We've got to see something different from them. You know, they've obviously got that extra player on the pitch, that extra outfield player on the pitch. They've got to use that.
Well, Mooring, yeah, Shinny Yano a shot, Rob with the goal, suicide agus Demi Faulkner, well, Howley, Barach and Valish into Todd, agus the Norson. Well, Burin Yikray, man, the Shin Georgie Rob. Stuart Robin Smith to go suicide. When you get those half chances when you're Dundee United, Emma, you have to at least get them on target, make the goalkeeper work.
That was a massive opportunity for me. I think Faulkner obviously has just got her feet positioned wrongly at the front post there. Todd's done well, she's napped in. Rob's got all the space and time at the edge of the box. She doesn't have to actually put her foot through it. She opens up her foot, side foot. You know, she's right in the middle of the goal. There's no one anywhere near her from Partick Thistle closing her down. That's a huge opportunity for me.
Trí Tuil Dason Achai, Georgie Rob, agus níos tú chóra me liceal seachad sin, agus dí se cluicitad ag United I the lá. Sinna go dal as a game. Demi Faulkner's Megan Cunningham bringing the chéile. Just a reminder there, Emma, for them at the back, that they can't be slack and present good chances like that, otherwise they will be punished.
Yeah, you can't switch off. I think your concentration levels have obviously got to maintain at the highest level possible. You know, Debbie Faulkner hasn't had a lot to do defensively, nor has Ferguson when she's came on. Even Megan Cunningham, she's not had a lot to do, but you've got your concentration levels have got to be there. You've got to be switched on, because switched on, as we've just seen, you know, you make that split-second mistake and you're allowing Dundee United into your box and to have that opportunity. But it's disappointing for United there. But yeah, you've got to be switched on. Of course, all the games in front of you, you're not having much defending to do. But Demi Faulkner, you know, she'll obviously recognise that she's obviously made that blip there, and she'll be looking obviously to not make it again.
Henderson, Gronka Gadurth, Geary and McQuillan, they got a cool line to say, follow the shot, Rosie McQuillan. I guess Jenna Mash and Jade Wilson, skipper the cool out. Another way, muy really followed with it. I guess Katie Frew, Binny Kisata Gestach, Okodi He. Again, it's 8 minutes and you're here to lay that out. Has the dual clash in both. Henderson, Jeffrey the skipper. Faulkner, so let's go here. Gronka Gestag and a V8. Had a Dukes check go. Henderson. Doe vlugje voorpen zit, je gaat vlugje sterk go Leah side hier is de mag. Lawton, Kiri Park losse dag Shintuli, van de gelachtige Gejenner. En dan stil je met een game door, dat Henderson toen en Kiri Void. Die gaan de goedje geweest, een Sinclair in een roomje heen. Tarsing, Agus Haastay, McCullen, dat je daar het huil is aan Thistle, Agus Fleetjener. After they go through this, got 2 bell in the park, it's open to call like it is. And I guess Harashia and put into Megan Sidey and a Mayo and Shin. And again, Emma, they really cut them open. And it's again, it's the 3 main players involved, and this time it's McQuillan putting the ball in it.
Yeah, it was good playing. I think a lot of attacking players came down this right hand side, you know, with the set piece. You can see Henderson here. I'm thinking, why side he not went standing top of your toes? You know, you're allowing a ball from a set piece to throw into her. You know, Sinclair again involved. You know, I thought actually she was going to have a shot and be selfish, but you know, she's got that awareness about her. Fantastic touch there, puts onto her right foot.
That's real composure. Oh. When you could be greedy, you could have had a goal, but she sees there's a player in a better position and she puts it on a plate for her.
Yeah, tremendous awareness from Sinclair on that occasion there, and technically she's very, very good. That first touch with her left foot there, and then she's obviously just lashed it across the the edge of the box, and you have Rosie McQuail coming off that left-hand side, playing more in the pitch. You know, she wouldn't have an easier finish all season. And as you've touched on, Alec, you know, Partick Thistle has still been on the front foot since the Claire Docherty sending off, and it's nothing that they have deserved it. Sorry, you know, they've not been short of that. They've obviously kept the tempo up, the intensity up. They've obviously looked to retain the ball, and they've worked it well. And I think they're doing really well down this right-hand side, especially.
Well, Rosie McQuillan, who are here to like in the game, Cargill Van Days and a Queen's Park. Ach, should the here Hull Fappische on a dan Partick Thistle. Agus ha gemaatulich in Stand United. Queenie gaat de kluchtje nu generach a generate daar het line. Viske beginnen de G-Vision voor Park. Agus kutje ga naam a duel de heen. Chidach koik minutes in relay unje. Suich Thistle in eerste goed. Ja, nu is het Claire Docherty goed get trace game. Ga boord kan eindje toe Thistle maar had het kluchtje van Ocean. It's a long way back now for United.
Yeah, it's a tough task that they have on their hands. We did touch on it at the top of the show with Suzanne. I think it'll be an extremely difficult season for Dundee United. Obviously not just this game, but I think all the games that come up against, and today is no different. And I think they're putting themselves under pressure. Just their use of the ball has not been good. Their retention of the ball has not been good.
Todd, the cool line of the ish. Fine, you tossing. I guess. Niet de Shane. Prachtig zo zag. Hier trappen United kan een fijne cool in de Giannick Thistles via die route in de groeg. Qua prachtig zo zei Duval. Kan hij hem? Kali is ook goed. Tegen die pik aan. In een spinnig groen is aan het darrelé. Quillen. Wel, met die. Ik heb mag maar ook eens die goed miste. Tegen die Henderson. Zoals de lijn die is. Die Wilson. Mag je die wel? Staat gestjag. Sinclair Schulting in de hanach. Hij al zoals de lijnen kwijt zijn Henderson. Chili Arash is aan Caramella. Schulting in trapse. Hier toegs en waarschijnlijk ook al een stukje maat. En voor die heeft dus je komen kwillen. En is dan ook bij Daraket. Hij is kort op die jaar te zijn die ik. Zoals de jachtje. Die is je kuddische vriend was in Giano. Gaan eens een gelachtige Jenner. Had haast de kroeg gekomen tussen. Nu show het die is Henderson. Je gelijk als ze boksen. En Graham een keer zo'n kogenik. Zij die van de dash. Ik is je met de verredelijke zat de geschag. Hier je boeilig. Quillen. Michael daar binnen is de goede waardig gedaan als geet lees. Beetje goede waardig geweest de goedje. Quillen. Zo dat je daar kunnen lijnen. Slater. Dus ik heb daar ook alles te. Ja, ik ga try and dribble to Pico side. Die is via een deel per Henderson. Sinclair. Wie is chat puntje goede kindje en puile sin me aan 'n paadjies. Oor 'n bal na skare sin bo in bullig trein kom kullen. So me gee die chin vir Cody hier. Brian Graham met Thistle in nood dat de Hellas gewil minute Dakel and Emma with a minute of regulation time left in the first half. Brian Graham will be very happy given the situation his side found themselves in, a goal up but a player down, and they've gone and extended their lead going into the break.
Yeah, he'll be absolutely delighted. He'll be thrilled with the response from his players after the Claire Doherty sending off. You know, they had something to fight for. They had that 1-0 lead, and then they've managed to capitalise on the chances that they've had to increase the lead to 2. But he'll be obviously looking to try to go into at half time, not conceding a goal and putting themselves under a little bit of pressure here with this set piece. But yeah, he'll be absolutely delighted. The response from the players have been tremendous.
Cormstoch Anamach Sele ag United. Cowper took out Paul State, Cointus Jameson, a Buringave, Shianaini, Tarakas, McQuillan, Tundagas and Thistle, the Fade, the Taichi me and the Padkish, Shin Ma, Taichi Kid of a Moivo, hey, I carry a clock against Allen, the Shin. From Lurin to United, Braga, the Shin, is Timmy Faulkner, Tolic Gilior, Licalamachas, the chicken Mayedig in a late Hosk. You know, Nasuringi and a Vinacha Adakel, Minacha Varaka can you the Hitley. And a Lawton, Swissolina go Henderson as this Gitoy Hodikin say Kahucha the lot. Sidey. Fraser, they go on and live Yeshak United. That Chris Jeffrey and a guy. Cunningham, Mach, Susko, McQuillan. Yesh Casson Skippel to Malawi like Thistle, Slater. With Ash go Ferguson. Say, she's in a Mavahan and Kifana Bengi Kuchuk. Cunningham, Mach, I guess, as an Nish, as a chicken, but yeah, they reach the Sula Horty and Lua there. I guess. Sinna Kinsha que vil nú in varach suas. Sat ik stech de gala gaan nur in te United de Gorgon de Leisure en niet que de Shane tortje hier het leeg go count. Le hadden we gemat eentje nog. Thistle tot Hoshach le Pearl of Henderson. I guess wat graantje in 'n kite mat is on Thistle. I ga je Norsen quick dat de gedje Mestuart Rebecca McQuillan. The Dara Tull, Claire Doherty, the Kudye, Achna Yoashin, be skipper Brian Graham, be Aston Tolic Gilor at Lusty, a Glay Union, I guess that Da Hull, it Hoshach, I guess Dulan Vore, like United, as a Dara Lee, Piach the show him the Magurs, I guess, I mean, Navaras could be Brian Graham, the Lagainach Savinach can reach the Kerson, a high Claire Doherty, Kudye, Rachel Donaldson, a and Kistnach and a reach of them, Marahat, Dolye, I guess. Hart, I guess, skipper that and Rachel Todd, Genois Lee, yes, Isaac Gavillator, Duavasach the Yano, some fine at Ashkan games as a Darali, like Le Unia show, like Peter Sill, Partick Thistle Legat, and Dundee United in Yoni.
Sineir son a hiad le maha agus well Partick Thistle bunya gama cortal ag ga go Yoni oper the Yano maha son Dundee United Sadarna le Suzanne Lappin called him Suzanne. As the scoreline suggests, a pretty comfortable afternoon so far for Partick Thistle.
Yeah, it has been. I think they've dominated. You know, they got off to a great start after 3 minutes, you know, with that goal. And I think, you know, ever since then, even though they've went down to 10 players, you know, I think they've dominated the game and deserve the lead at half time. Yeah,
let's have a look back at that goal. And it was fairly simple for Partick Thistle. It was just a simple ball over the top, and it was Lucy Sinclair breaking through on her league debut for Partick Thistle, and she's been playing very well.
Yeah, she has been playing very well, and you know, as you say, it was a great start. 3 minutes, you know, on the clock, and you know, it's direct play, you know, but Lucy Sinclair getting in there, you know, she's unlucky herself. You know, she's probably claiming an assist there, but Cara Henderson there, you know, putting the ball in the back of the net, and it's a great start to the game for Brian Graham's team.
Frustrating though, Dundee United, they really want to be looking back on that goal because, like I said, it was just a simple ball over the top.
It was a simple ball. I think as a defensive line, you've got to be set, you know, you've got to be prepared for that ball over the top, and they just weren't, you know, and Partick Thistle took full advantage.
Then Partick Thistle went down to 10 players. We weren't sure how that was going to impact the game, and we think it was for dissent for Claire Docherty. It was all a bit unclear at the time, but a bit unnecessary, although we don't know the full story.
Yeah, we don't know the full story. You know, it can only really be for dissent because, you know, I don't think there's too much in the collision, if I'm honest. You know, she looked as if she was puzzled as to why she was sent off. You know, the referee looked absolutely sure that, you know, straight for the red card. I'm sure Brian Graham will be looking for an explanation from the referee and from his player on that. It's not something you want to see happen as players getting sent off, and I think, you know, for Brian Graham as well, you know, 20 minutes into the new season, losing Claire Docherty, who is a key player, you know, not just for today but games going forward, she'll be a big miss for the side.
Absolutely, a big miss from the side, but Partick Thistle built on their lead despite only the 10 players, and it was another great move from them. Lucy Sinclair once again involved, and it was Rosie McQuillan who got the goal. Yeah,
McQuillan got on the end of it, but, you know, as you say, I think it came from the throw-in. It was great play, you know, again, Lucy Sinclair involved, you know, a ball across the box, and, you know, McQuillan there to find the finish. You know, he'll be absolutely delighted, the manager, you know, going in the 2 goals ahead, particularly losing Claire Docherty, but, you know, you must say I think Partick Thistle do deserve the lead in the game, although just before that second goal, you know, Dundee United had a great chance, you know, from the edge of the box to get themselves back into the game.
Is it a case of Partick Thistle have been very good today, picking up from last season, or is it a case of Dundee United are a bit off the pace?
I think Thistle have been good, but don't get me wrong, I think, you know, United as well, you can see that if they get the ball, they've got some good players in midfield, and I think they're just needing, you know, a wee bit more up top. I think Todd's doing, you know, okay up there in terms of holding it up. She needs to do a bit more of that and let her teammates get round her, but, you know, the next goal's is crucial. You know, if United get it, we've got a game, you know, and if Thistle get it, I think they'll be, you know, looking at getting the 3 points then.
Thank you for now. Suzanne Klingsche Barach for Suzanne Gerster. Ac y drasta hasing dol hort sŵl idd y hwle clybau agus tron y jacang fa hasinga ac y chwydym tosach ac yn SWPL. Idd hosiwch idd y nimmer tiwr agus syl cymera ha na clychydrin agus na clybau yn ulyc y ffadachking.
Maddie Fulton, Glasgow City, centre mid.
Catherine Hill, Rangers, centre back.
Ailey Adams, Hibernian woman, striker.
Georgia Hunter, Hearts, centre back.
Rachel Donaldson, Partick Thistle, winger.
Hannah Stewart, Aberdeen, forward.
Hannah Coakley, Hamilton Accies and centre mid.
Katie Frew, Dundee United, full back. Jill Ingalls, Motherwell, defender.
Jade McLaren, Montrose, midfield.
Robin McCafferty, Spartans, centre half.
I think it was a competitive year last year. Exciting results, and I think it's going to be the same for the following season.
Initially we were disappointed not to land in a top 6 spot, but I don't think we can fault the effort from the team post-split. I think to go 10 games unbeaten was really good for us, and we managed to build a really good run of form.
Really good for us, good season, and it was good to get a full season for me at Partick Thistle under my belt.
It was a really tough season, I think, for the club, and we're just so grateful to achieve our goal of staying up. That's the main thing, and we're hopeful that we can kick on this season.
I think last season was quite disappointing for us. We got to the Sky Sports Cup final, so there was positives in there, but in terms of our league position, we'll be looking to do better this season.
We were happy with our league position when we ended the season, and we're looking to kick on from there and be better than last season. pick up more points and hopefully finish higher up the table.
I think it was a great achievement for Hearts to end 4th place 100%. I mean, everything that we've been building on from the previous seasons is great, and to carry that on to next season, that's what we're hoping for.
I think my first goal at the start of the season is probably the best memory for me.
Getting top 6.
Probably scoring my first goal for the club since being back. Personally, it was a big moment for me. I've worked hard to get back from injuries, and to get my first goal was a big thing for me.
Individually, it would be scoring the equaliser against Hibs at Tynecastle, but as a team, beating Hibs and then ending 4th.
The best memory would have to be Lauren Davidson's last-minute goal to secure us the league title.
We just want to compete and show people that we're not here to lie down and get walked over.
We want to pick up more wins. Of course, we want to finish higher than 8th than last season. So, yeah, that's definitely what motivates us and drives us on this season.
Just trying to find that consistency this season and build on the form that we ended last season on.
Hopes would be to push up the ladder, continue to develop and compete for it.
Yeah, we'll be looking to finish higher up in the league table and hopefully try and get some silverware as well.
Our hopes is just to kick on from last season and avoid that relegation and playoff spot. That's our main aim, and to really build foundations and keep driving the women's game forward.
Picking up more points, finishing higher up in the league and scoring more goals as a collective group would probably be our main aim.
Just try and build on what we did last season and hopefully get back into that top 6 and see if we can progress up the table.
We will talk about the top teams, hopefully we'll be included in that.
It's about winning more silverware and also progressing in the Champions League.
Tegan Bowie, she's come back to Hibs and she's been really good in pre-season. She's been scoring goals as well, so one to watch.
Bailey Collins, we've obviously signed her from Aberdeen. She's had a really good pre-season and I'm really looking forward to seeing how she gets on this season.
I think Lauren coming in from America, I think she brings something new to the team as well, and she'll be one to look out for, I think.
Probably Kira, our new centre-back.
Cara Henderson's been flying.
And probably our new captain, Nadine. She's been appointed captain. She's a role model on and off the pitch.
One of the young talents, Lisa Forrest, has really impressed me this pre-season, so I think she'll be one to watch. The top of the table teams, so your likes of Rangers, Celtic, Hearts, Hibs, I think it's going to be a really competitive league this year.
Probably Glasgow City because they won the league, so those are the ones you want to beat.
I think for us at Motherwell it's probably Accies if you look at the derbies within the league, so yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to playing them.
I think Hearts have been good throughout pre-season from what I've seen, so I think they want to keep an eye out on.
Definitely Dundee United. I just left them last season and it'll be good to see how we are coming up against them, and hopefully we can get a few results from them this season.
Against Hibs it's always a good game. There's that maybe a wee bit of rivalry between us there, but it's always a good game.
Hearts because they've made some very good signings.
I'm going to say Hearts just because of obviously the rivalry there.
I have to say Hibs because I always love playing against Hibs.
I don't put my shin guards on till the last minute. It's not great when I forget to put them on, but always the last minute I put them on.
We used to always play the same song. That's getting a bit mixed up this time. We're currently in the middle of picking our song, so that's probably the only superstition we've got.
Lauren Davidson likes to leave everything to the very last minute. That would probably be her superstition, so we'll go with that one.
I wouldn't say it's mad, but I wear pink tape around my wrist, so that's my superstition.
Lizzie Wilde. She has to have a jam roly-poly the night before our game. Every game. So random.
It's weird if she didn't.
That I'll win the Golden Boot.
Montrose are going to win the league.
Potentially a new league winners, a team that's not won it before.
Hearts will take points off the top 3.
Someone not in the top 3 win the league.
Yeah, I don't think I have one. Sorry.
Don't worry about it.
I was trying to think of one.
I think Rangers will win the league.
I think Celtic will win the league this season.
I think Glasgow City will win the league.
I think Hearts will win the league.
I think that Celtic will win the league.
My prediction for winning the league is Rangers.
I'm going to say Hearts so we can challenge ourselves, but we'll never know.
I think Celtic will win the league.
I think Glasgow City are going to win the league this year.
I think Rangers will probably win the league.
I think Aberdeen are going to win the league. I had good timing.
Sinna gaibh má ha cúteanna cluichetar agus na skipi na ha go bhí clich an téansa agus cumar a ha asan a fadach ging thoiseach iad an immer túr. Well, iad fallahó Peters Hill ha Spartans asan agus fáilte iad Rangers agus ag léúne ha Rangers buinic ga go neonaí Joe thoiseach táiseach í a hasin do Joe Potter, manager úr a fastúr Rangers agus díad cútnar caine cúteach na sanamíthe iad an níosgur bí singe call of the Glasgow City agus Hibernian Bishan Toshkug ag Coic with an Fisker. Well, Seanish, as Suzanne Lappin has called them. Suzanne, just looking back there, we heard from some of the players and the teams who'll be involved in the SWPL this season. Just over the last few months, some of the transfers and some of the talk that's been going on. Who are you looking forward to seeing? Could be a team, a player, anything caught your eye?
I think for me, I think a team, I think will do really well this year is Hearts. Again, I was impressed with them last season, and I think they've strengthened well over the summer. From them and Hibs as well. There's always a sort of battle going on there to see who can come out on top from the Edinburgh sides. I think as well, Motherwell were disappointed not to make the top six last year. They'll be pushing for that. But I think all clubs are sort of strengthened well. And as I said at the top of the programme, I think we're in for an exciting season.
Very, very interesting. Thank you for now, Suzanne. Agus dras thashing at all egol suas gu arniach adish ha shin kabor jason son a darnley ach mus gian shin ha Brian Graham a fair voring agus ha isn't could be bring the Alec O'Henley.
What an time giving help. Agus Nilison will Corin Mackin bring the Brian Graham. Dras Brian Graham, thanks for joining us. It's Alec O'Henley in commentary here. You must be really pleased with the way your players handled that first half, especially having gone down to 10 players.
No, I thought we were excellent. I thought we dominated the first half, even with 10 players. So I've said to my players more of the same, about game management and go and see out the game.
Did you get any clarification from the officials, Brian, or the player as to why that was a straight red card?
My player said that she was frustrated that the ball got out and she swore, but it wasn't directed at the official and he's just banded a red card, so I think it's very soft.
Other than that, though, Brian, you must be really pleased with the way the new players who have come in, Lucy Sinclair, Rosie McQuillan getting a goal, they've all played excellently in that first half.
No, I knew they would. They've fitted in really well. Pre-season's been going great.
Thanks, Brian. Best of luck second half.
Thanks very much.
Yes, Brian Graham, Chich, this mean you should the harsh Yerak should. I guess Emma Black on them, and yeah, we've got some clarification on that red card now, and it seems the threshold has just gone up in terms of what constitutes a red card.
Yeah, it's disappointing. You heard from Brian Graham there. He obviously says he felt it was a soft red card, and I get it at times. Players really do get frustrated. Obviously, we'd seen the phaser player Delworth had obviously matched Claire Docherty's run. Then Claire's clipped her heels and Delworth went down, and the referee's given a free kick and the balls ran out. And Claire's just been frustrated at herself. She's shown her emotions. She's obviously said a word that the referee does not certainly agree with, and the referee obviously assumed that it was directed at him, and he's obviously banished the red card, which is disappointing. But as we've touched on, Partick Thistle have been tremendous the first half.
I guess Jasna could have darley good all. I guess at the guy Kunyoni at Hoshach Arach Chidach Dundee United Mr. Hoshich darley Neve Noble. Chayuch Dias at Glasgow City Chihunia. I guess either Machadias at the days and a high October Namar. I guess Shinisha Duval Chinidis on a darley. I guess Shinadar United did again. I guess Saidi. So yeah, and you can understand that they've got the extra player, Emma, so they've thrown on a more attacking player and taken off the defensive midfielder.
Yeah, I'd say.
Going for Cora Machinach. And it almost just paid dividends immediately, didn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I did say the first half that Dundee United had to change. They obviously had to change their style of play in the first half. It certainly just wasn't working for them. They've got to be more attacking. As I said, there's space certainly in and around the pitch now that there is only obviously those Partick Thistle are obviously down to 10 players. So there is more space on the pitch, but it's how you utilise that space. It's getting the players on the ball. I think for me, Rachel Todd has to be more on the ball. She has to obviously give her team a bit more going forward. There's her ball retention I keep on touching on, but I think it's vitally important. Whereas you look at Partick Thistle, on the other hand, I think they've been tremendous the first half. Their game management of the first half has been really, really good. They dominated the first half. They capitalised on their chances that they had, and they've got a 2-0 lead.
Agus sinna gémas at Gianno sa dar le kuchach kan riaf brokers for an olar na smó malikis at Dundee United is steun a faigat tuil with kilometer galachak in machine tulach the Thistle speed Brian Gray machine radio a fis kuchach cafe mat show khum at all as the dar le is trace tuil line jichs an pingini in a savelche van a line Sinclair.
Well done, Kath. Well done.
Was gaan ik zo met hierheen de maken we samen de United. Here's an ish going to Nevison. Geen zit er een kullen kun. Jemisi was het. I guess got a shin fatte fella. And again there Emma just biding her time, waiting for the right moment to press, to force the mistake, and wasn't too far away with the final effort here.
No, it was a poor pass from Wilson. I'm not sure why she's given Delworth that pass, but even at that, she's made that pass, she's the centre-back, and then she's pulled out the space. You know, you just don't go ahead of the ball, especially being in a centre-back position. But Rosie McQuill was on top of it. You know, she recognised it was a slow pass, it was a bobble pass. And it's those type of situations where when players make a mistake like that, it's up to the opposition then to pounce on that, and Partick Thistle for me are doing that.
Dan is de line afgeheen, United. Zoals Gatoda, Faulkner, Katie Assekoon, even Bullock, de veel laatje, de meer aan de paakje, Gamorinji, Shinnevinnik, Georgie Rob, bij de goede maag. En Duze, Joanne Fraser, Rosie Slater, Shindrijper. We gaan dus de 3 stochen van de willen als Korntelen, als je meer in je lijn, het je nog Lasha Coolplay, Rob, Arsenko Jameson. Line, Swisselina, Woody Hay, Tach Yen, and finishing Jameson. I guess the ish. Just look at that Gian, Mora United, Fiachan the Yen, Puchtig Troya, I had stock at the Fak Lane Gown at Yahoo and Ashley Henderson, Fiachan the Pristu, Head of a Muyi, I guess, just Muringi fine, Chimika with Katie Fruit. Die is skippig the Thistle. I feel she's going to be an important player for Thistle second half. Emma Bullock midfield, she's done a lot of the hard yards in there.
Yeah, it's the type of position, that number 6, that number 8 position in front of the back four, that you do a lot of off the ball running, shall we say. She's really disciplined, but she's also good at going forward, but especially obviously given the 10 players that they're down to, she's got to even be more disciplined now. She's got to hold that position in front of the back four and pick her moments when she can and can't go forward, but she'll be an important player all season as long as she keeps herself fit. Obviously going forward, I don't see any reason why she won't be in the starting lineup each game.
Sasserius is a Losachin, had Satigastjach, there's the Thistle de Val. Emma Lawton, Madison Sinclair, Bullock to smack. Slater, I guess Bullock is just skip the foot, Kanye Valena Gian, Faulkner.
Good night, well done, back it up.
George Mach van a goal, Julian for Sinclair.
He's got it.
Eerst Faulkner, Pinnick Nabui, La Seigneur. Slater, United de Kiri, Coganu, dan gaat dat de fijn. Karmstof, Thistle. Bristol, hey, tegen de Galsoes de Leune. En geleid de Blues, dat is een kassen en is. Rachel Todd van de Lash. Goed back gegorren, skipper at United.
Wind up, Jade, wind up! Rest is ready. Georgie, drop in naar die pocket. Get Georgie on it, get Georgie.
Wilson, dat je voor je mag genoorsen kan. Like Rob, is het al de Lash. Van de Jickley. Is such a condition and pass of Aisha Kiri for Wilson. United de Diers vegen die hoek al van de goed. Al een schade drops de Rob af de Diers. Zij is minder goed Ash. Robin Smith, weak crew, she has gone off and she's another one that's done really well since coming off the bench on loan from Rangers, and she's settled in well at centre back.
Yeah, she's a promising young player, and it's important at that age that you get minutes in SWPL 1, and Partick Thistle have given her that opportunity. And I'm sure she wouldn't have, I'd imagine, been called on, especially your first opening game of the season and in the first half, and under those circumstances, how it happened. But no, she's done extremely well. You know, she's just slotted into that centre back position, and any time she's been called upon, she's dealt with it just on that occasion there. She's very aware of her surroundings, and she's keeping the ball in front of her.
Worden de mag eiken, je mag parach mene klicheta na het de niemel maar gebeuren. Dus Jenna Ferguson is Jenna 4 waschen van een keer. Schulten kan Norenji heen langsje gekeken niet ze. Kale geen suus. Smith, die is slechter de drop ze kur kas als er wat. Cody Hake hij een satje vallen van Gunnar. Jameson. Round was later, so putting the McQuillan Shinach on the side. Player Doherty coming to the phone here. You just wonder, Emma, if they'll appeal that red card.
I'm not sure. I think what is it 1 game she'll get, 2 games she'll get. It depends obviously what's on the match report from the referee when he submits that. Obviously any decision will be there, but I think if it's something that obviously Claire has mentioned, that's what it was. It's something that she's mentioned. I think it's difficult then to appeal that.
Ishin J Hachris Shin. That's all the the Bristol Kelnell in the park. Emma Lawton. Gaat je 3 maar gaat party duel. Jade Wilson, die kwijt bullig kienje de wouwlig hij de tune dat gevallen is. Maar wel goed maakt, gaan er in de Henderson fijn niet krijgen die is. Die gaat goed toch. Die staat de gauw bullig toch een alleen. Die gaan er in die maar time and again Emma, they give the ball to Jade Wilson to bring it out from the back. She doesn't look particularly comfortable, and invariably they end up giving it back to Thistle.
Yeah, I think you've seen Megan Rob dropping into that position. I think Wilson's just got to hold her position at that centre back and allow Rob to get on the ball. She's better technically, she's more comfortable on the ball, her use of the ball is better, but no, Wilson just looks like a bag of nerve at times, anytime she gets on the ball. And not only that, I think she's been dragged out of position a few times.
After the Shaggis drops the game Megan side, he skipped it. Henderson, krijgen als je bal de guts voor je. It's almost like Thistle know they can let them have the ball, knowing when they press at the right time they can win the ball back and create more chances, possibly more goals.
Yeah, I think that's a tactic that they're playing upon, because they're allowing Wilson to take a touch, take an extra touch, and then obviously they're waiting for her to make that pass, and then they have the players who are squeezing up behind, like Rosie Slater, Amy Bullock from the middle of the pitch, surrounding her, waiting for her to make that pass, because they know exactly where she's going to pass it, and they're capitalising on that error.
Juim si fashion kita Vo Wilson and Henderson nach ac pri chante the boshan ele horchachat. Hey, that's a no shine. Master Kiliora de Val, Jameson and Juna Massenyer kind of fall up. Bullock Heelig. It's Neve Noble. Ein Suez Smith. Tune Dagach. Tune the Conda the Rosie Slater. I guess Pim Eagle. Chimical Rachel the Kucher Kazan. Ein Dash. Jenny Ferguson. Henderson is Wilson. Cool count. Henderson is in G. Streich Besson. I guess a look at the chin and United to dismiss it. And again, that's the last thing you need, Emma, when you're feeling a bit nervous about the game anyway, to get a clatter on the head like that. Just a straightforward clash of heads.
Yeah, I think for me, Jade Wilson's not going to win that. Cara Henderson's already in front of her. Cara's got up early. I think in that situation, you just have to drop off. Henderson's going to flick it on, so just drop off. She doesn't have time. The ball was in the air. She's not going to be able to bring it down and take it round you. So Wilson, on that occasion, just has to drop off the game, allow Henderson to flick it on, and then pick up second balls.
Jade Wilson hann go Glasgow women dámhaigh sa by the céad bliain agus Mr. Glóisi go United. Thistle meurach go dáirich in he is fine. Bullock the Chivui dash the United. The Pekanyan Nimpi Howl game, ticket to Shinchil, Hunkavalud to Smachik, Thistle, and not the United game or Jufferson. The intensity is getting out of the game, Emma, which is understandable. Thistle know that they've done half the job here. It's the onus is in United to give them a challenge, and at the moment, they're not doing that.
No, they're not. I think for any game of football, it's so difficult to replicate how you played in the first half, getting into the second half. It's natural that the intensity levels are going to drop. And it's the first game of the opening season, first competitive game that the players have had. And it's asking a lot of those Thistle players to try and maintain that, and that's a difficult part. And I won't be surprised to see some changes that Partick Thistle will make just to freshen it up. Just give that injection of energy levels and lift the tempo once again. But I think for me now, Dundee United are not under any pressure. I think they actually look more relaxed this second half. They've obviously had touches of the ball. They've had a few chances going forward, and that's obviously due to the levels of Partick Thistle's intensity levels they've dropped, and they've obviously dropped deeper for me, in my opinion.
Imogen long kick, Union click it in a Nimish chin, Fanny Pengi is on Thistle. Should have a get a shin against that. Sinclair, could you breach in the third? Hey, Fiachen de Gumar Peo, they've had a Katie Fruga, Oprah Suas Alina. So, we get a chin for Rachel Todd, get that. Hey, the Chuval, Suas Kamaquillan, Nori Yeshle, get that. Henderson on Kamalishka. Henderson against Jameson. Three is in a week, so we get a chin for a click at the Thistle. The Shin Coram guy, Naharich and Shinigano. Claire Adams, click at the Dilla, Hinade Geisen. McQuillan, toch, het al een je. Jefferische voor te goal Suas. I guess Fiskerick, Lucy Sinclair, Shepard, Kuchak, she can be pleased with the contribution she's made today. Looks like she'll be a really important player for Thistle this season.
She'll be massive for them. She's put in a tremendous shift the first 60 minutes of the game. She's been involved in both goals. She'll be vitally important for Partick Thistle. She'll be a huge player for them and in that number 10 role. But now, for me, I think Brian Graham's just gone for the game management. How can he secure that midfield up? Claire Adams is more a defensive player than going forward, and it's having fresh legs coming on in the wider area in long cake. McQuail, she's done tremendous as well. what obviously a debut she's had at her new club, coming from Spartans and getting on the score sheet. She's done extremely well, but yeah, it's important, get fresh legs on. Can they obviously maintain those intensity levels, the tempo of play, and just about managing the game now? Because as Suzanne had touched on at half-time, the next goal was vitally important. You know, if it's Dundee United that scores it, it puts Partick Thistle under pressure, but Partick Thistle get the third goal, you know, the game's away from United then.
خلاص قبل يونايتد ضل جاين ندول عشان مرة عارف كرون شن كمال بوا سبيرت كليور من نيوسي بشن بو جيمسون لوسن يدي فاو فرغسن سكبلخ أتكو كانيم دروكي إذا شن شدخ مرة بايكيري خاطر خومالي يدي فاو ثسل هي أخوا هندرسون كارن الرسالة نشن Carmen United MC hook out Suez live yesh Claire Delworth. Yeah, can define a fall of a Rosie Slater. Marisha Niano is all chi and for a click at the Janik Thistle. Delworth, Kiri Royan, Moran, McKenyev, Gibb, for the dash kit, I guess Norton. Anki Karen Ginistigi and Pukadit and Castan like Delworth, Dashak, Castan Rachel Todd, Nurin Yishan again, Leisha Varach, I guess Rulach Marasage, Skiplach and Mafanya Valena Gian, I guess Navashka Cunningham, Adams, and Sanahia, two Yakishvaniki Fanapengi. As you said, Emma, the onus really is now on United. If they want to go for this, they need to do something soon, just because it's looking so comfortable for Thistle now. They're just playing the game at the pace they want.
Yeah, they are, and that's suiting Partick Thistle at this stage. But Dundee United have got to do something going forward, as you mentioned, Alec. You know, they've got the players on there, but it's, I know I keep on saying it, and I've said it before, it's ball retention, it's the use of the ball, and you've got to have that passion, you've got to have that desire. You know, you're away from home, the opening game of the season, you're getting beat so far, 2-0. However, you're playing against a team who's down to 10 players. You've got to make use of that.
Noble, en ik van het Pengie Gleeuwne, Fjechendig, Jefferiano with a live lead. Koelde Salah, Giedig, Goloten, Martin Henderson, Gronk in a Sacha, Falavakunar. Haast de Kumalato, Cara Henderson, ik nooit. Wilson, Kahumala stay, I guess. Je wie zat de gestjech als ik kan hou. Game hard to bow line, that's going to click it then. Delworth, Gary Smith, Chinasash got it. Smith, Chinama, tuned like a fall off, I guess. Rachel Todd should have go out there. That was quite good work by Robin Smith there, Emma. Just the final ball was too far ahead of Rachel Todd.
It was almost like a shot come cross, wasn't it? Just didn't get enough on it. But that was a player that I'd actually, when I looked at the starting lineup, I looked at Smith to try and be that creative one going forward. Can she obviously replicate what Dana McGinley done? I know she was a huge player for them, but you then need players round about then to step up, you know, to grab the game with the scruff of the neck, to try and fill those boots. And I thought Smith would have been important for them, especially in today's game going forward. It just hasn't clicked for her today.
Staat de vierende schlikje hoek al van een goed. Wilson Riesch. Kierig gedaan. Zijn vastgeren. Zijn sharp. Rob. Kooit Carla Gloos het McKenzie weg. Kierig geloten. Zijn veel op discussies aan United. Ferguson. Val Washins, Rosie Slater will Suez, the liner. Murray Hook al Tarsing. I guess Wilson and Jenna start the Khadara. But again, Emma, great maturity from Jenna Ferguson. The weight in that pass was perfect for Rosie Slater. You could possibly have got over a touch earlier.
Yeah, it was, and it was great composure by Ferguson. And just as you've mentioned, it's the weight of pass, it's the direction of pass. And Rosie Slater's made a tremendous run down this left-hand side. And the weight of the pass is that good that Rosie Slater can put it in first time and manage to win the corner. But as you mentioned, real maturity from Ferguson there.
Nimpiak Thistle has. Ishall of the Boshang Chinistoi. I guess Sashin put us the jail Kidishik Fostoi. Nick Pipanoshin, Nick Cody here, the Vico Mashin, the Jew Yematara. Marshin game, the Femi Haas Doperchu. Slater. Amy Bullock. Christian Tuna, Jameson, Jailik the Sheard Val. Long kick, up van Elena. Delworth. The bootje gaat maar kunnen weg. Long kick in de gutje dash. Is Noorsen to the ball and snummel and pick aan het lijnen. Spel mag. Adams. Tjoen de gevallen het van Gray McRobber. Haast begonnen het al. Prachtig. Die wil Suez. I think Claire Adams will be unhappy there. She felt she was being fouled and she thought the referee would play on, and then when she did, the flag went up.
Yeah, and I think actually Longcake was waiting for the foul to be given against her, but it's in a good position. You can see why the referee's allowed her to play on, but when Longcake's in that position, the wide area, she can see right across the back line. She has to have more awareness about her. But that's what Claire Adams will give you. That's why I feel that it was needed in the middle of the park at times for Partick Thistle. She'll give you that defensive maturity that she has. She's willing to put her foot in and just gives that good balance to try and manage a game out.
Jameson. John Hutchinmach, Hyder, Chilashka, Lawton, shot caught him. The Thistle plays Stu Henderson. Long kick, Fiach and the finest thing in the box. And the Jade Wilson. Als je net paars in een jammertje ga je en je maat schielijk als je schunt en dan ga je Henderson in de bal goed tarsing. Haast de roeie kanoe Henderson get daar kolas ski kluitje en is get daar. Bullock als een noshing de bal is geleerd leentje boeien. Thistle vijf de bal in tarsing. De Fullertinje en de heilige dasje stui. En is Megiddig, de scoopig, de follow-up, de Cassie Cooper. Check if you're to the Shane Riish, Rob in the Panasifig. Caramella, Sun Thistle, Alloch with the Moon, Lena Chiana United. Fashkejikli, I guess, well. Interesting pass, Emma Lawton here can define it. I think Emma Lawton was close to getting a connection on this, Emma.
Yeah, it was a clever ball in. You can see obviously what Adams is doing, trying to obviously put that cross in between the sticks, and it's a great ball. I just think you need more bodies running across it.
Snediersle, tar room ball Hutchinmach. We show that for Claire Delworth. Fraser, maar eens gaan show. Fars me hier de gekjes again. Als je de bal dan is, je ga je immers of je diligent van de ping in een haatje. Dat Henderson erop zit. fiechan there Jamach. Ach, go pick in a shin le cody here. Sherba United, passing a shot. Nuri geft dat de groeg wiki. Can halken that. Check at the Jimmy Faulkner.
Up to the ball, George! Up to the ball, George!
She's with the ball. Chilix Kahukal. I guess Nuri you find a fall of a Cooper. Later, kind of close it. Adams and Fash got it. Achiki Sua Salina. You see Henderson. On kick. Fiechan the goal Shechatara. I guess Jameson the count. Dash Kasavalchuk. Noble, Kairi Sua Salina. I guess can you ruin your shit? Lot in the Chinama.
No, wait a minute. No, yeah, we're just adding on.
That aardig uit al heen is aan United. Dat gerust met een Thistle is dan haast. Als je een kummy game het al idee wel. Delworth. Has to be a Carts. Like a Cooper. Todd. De hoek al gaan vast de goal. Gaan je tinje schöner. Uzi Slater had een goede macht. Als je een pick en een sharp voor United. Is de zon zo een stuk op loze storing geeft. Je gaat dan niet bij je gemal het al. Todd van was je al taschen toch. We beginnen per bij een de wie favor de hand. Dus dat zie je dan al. Ja, de bij Bosch en Chakutje. Todd Mahat. Arch Gillior in de val. Kijk maar via de route kan niet gaan. Ach, bullig. Ga in de val af. Katie Fru via de hielig tegen Haneke. Delworth Cinema. Fijne val af Slater. Daar is stig aan de volkste. Die is Ferguson as a rat. It's been better for United the last few minutes, Emma, but they just can't find the final pass or the final effort and target. And again, Jenna Ferguson in the right place at the right time again for Thistle at the back.
Yeah, it's been much better. It's been more positive from Dundee United. You know, they've had a couple of set pieces and that was clever play from Delworth. She done the hard part. She got her first touch, she came away from her, she dinked it over, but you know, Ferguson there once again sussing out the danger. As you mentioned earlier on, Alex, she's shown real maturity, just stepping across and dealing with it there. But it has been better from United. I feel Partick Thistle have certainly dropped off the game. I think they're struggling at times to get a hold of the ball, and they're then making the wrong passes, the wrong decision, and that's all down to fatigue. Especially, obviously, they've been worked their socks off. Obviously, throughout the game so far, they've been down to 10 players. They've brought on obviously Adams and Longcake, but I just think they've dropped off. And credit to United, you know, they're starting to push forward.
Longcake, via de fijn gaan shot. Agus split finish the shot. En ik zei die je mag. Bouwleg of zeggen dat ik lach die. Agus, gee, dat gebeurde bij United. De moeilijk fijn dat als je tegen de game. Dat is al een plusje. Agus Imogen Longcake, she just tempted the goalkeeper there to try and get the ball. She nicks it past it, and it's an easy decision for the referees.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great run from Longcake. You know, she's just managed to get there first. I'm not sure what Megan Sidey's doing. You know, she's just made the wrong decision. Megan's came out. She's been caught flat-footed. Poor decision from Megan there on that occasion. But this obviously could be the gap that Partick Thistle have been looking for, and as I mentioned, it's the next goal is vitally important, and what an opportunity this is.
At the start of the game, Imogen Longcake het pwyliau yn y sin, and we pinnig the finish. I guess eisiau the goal lar. I guess fine at eisiau the caster yn ish. Demi Faulkner gyr i'r reddi. Cara Henderson ma, son y dar y tŵl gen i game, Mike eisiau dres is on Thistle iddo la. I guess fydd y sŵlach y gybysio gycynach gyda o'r son y 3 pwynt gen y hwgal. Sidey yn o'i Henderson. Os ga je du fjärst, dan gaat in je lawn. Ein van de boel, maar je nerste de voelings na vrij stolle started. Henderson dispatches it perfectly. Him with plenty of power. The goalie goes the right way, but there was just too much on it. She couldn't get anything near it.
No way, what an execution of a penalty there from Henderson. And just a perfect height, side net, and she knew exactly where she was going. Fantastic penalty, and it just sums up her performance so far in today's game. She's been tremendous for her team. She's led from the front, but as I said, that next goal was vitally important, regardless of where it went to. But it just obviously now opens that gap, and it's a tough uphill battle now that Dundee United face here in the remaining 15 minutes plus injury of this game.
I'm going to click it and ball like a mushki guy, like I can't call it a steward. You're chin from the ping, is the finish in a hosnig, give it a fisker, a image and long cake, shechats, gefame, Thistle, really, you know. You understand it. She's taking a knock, an ankle knock, Emma. There's no point in risking her. The game's won now, so there are bigger games to come.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, she'll be disappointed, and hopefully, obviously, it's nothing too serious. But it's the correct decision. You know, if you're struggling, you've obviously picked that knock up. Best decision is get yourself off, get you seen by the medical team, and assess the situation.
What a moment for Megan Robb as well, Emma. Signed from Triborough Athletic, big jump from the championship, and she gets her first taste of the Premiership.
Yeah, tremendous for her, and as you said, it's a huge step. You know, obviously bypassing SWPL 2, but going straight to SWPL 1, and it's a player that Brian Graham had been monitoring for a number of months, and she was a standout player for Triborough. There's no doubt about it, but so. An achievement it is, and obviously what a challenge it is here. You know, she's got time to go and showcase her talent. She's a wide player, she's an attacking player, she's very fast going forward, so it'll be interesting to see how she adapts to this league.
Barry Monroe, daar klikt het aan een keer. Chele, Hannik Ren through Athletic in de tower machine. Brian Graham, dus je game de vindt je kaart koren. Je plaatst het geen game, moet je klikt het aan ook, de hoort je sterk. As the crocher in the Shem Gashki Clay, Henderson Kata, Tahu Lele Yishu. Last day the lot, Duval Kata, Kitty through Castanich and Call, I guess Henderson in the Fakale a lot. Henderson had Asher the Castan steg en ook ze kwijt zijn het dreest te leggen. Delworth le pepe mag. Bakel Megan Robb with a lot. I can understand why she's not happy with that. That looked like just like a kick out at Megan Robb.
Yeah, I'll have to see that again. I was totally flabbergasted. The referee's not even having a word, but it'll be interesting to see if we can see it again there, Alec. But that's not a very good reaction from Delworth on that occasion. She almost looked like she's just lashed out at Rob.
Slater, Cheval Tarsing, Shechat, Henderson, through Gaina Falavach, Jida Gefate, die Loten, en Kahijik, en I guess the Diashkavinik. Wie is Jenna Ferguson? Cune de bal. Ze die is bal. Ze geboren naar Groshinskanya. Die is. Must say, Emma, I've been really impressed with Gemma Ferguson today. The composure she's shown and the way she plays the ball inside the fullback all the time is bisecting the defence every time.
Yeah, she's technically very, very good and very comfortable on the ball.
Shaw Coram to United get that. Night to Hannik van de Pingy. Die is gaan door op terug. Loten as the rat. Although they got Tarsing and Dripless to Megan Cunningham, he should have been kind again. I think we can see this again, Emma. This looks like a kick out from player Delworth. Yeah, she did get the ball and then she went for the kick out.
Yeah, I think that's very naughty, isn't it? She did win the ball, but then it's a reaction with her left foot. She's just obviously followed through. But no, I think that was very naughty. I think the referee should have had a word there. There was no need for her to react like that. You know, she'd won the ball. She managed to get it out for a throw-in.
Die first on a Hashin, Delworth, Mickey Tafwell, Kuchuk. Agus na díos mar gibig. Jay as na kushlan gaid a vicho kiún at Yakulas on Thistle. Carter Shinbo Jameson, game Kumalatol, Henderson. Agus Noble. Bop gemeen aan de paardje gaat en is je dat voor je mag. Bro, via de ballijn voor Smach. Kijk eens bij Fenachela. Agus Jade Achadish. Ewan Sigorach voor Jade Wilson. Agus Cara Michaud, the Cara Henderson is on a hat-trick. Je gaan het doen. Again, it's a rash challenge from Jade Wilson. It looks like the danger was away and she rushes into this challenge.
Yeah, clever play from Monroe there. You know, she's just touched it off for her, but that's crazy from Wilson on there. There's no need to dive in like that, absolutely not. But I think just before that was a couple of phases of play. You see the United players now reacting. They're having some kick-outs. There was a high boot.
Henderson is on a dress to like the Nesker Maha. J2 Hiki Drapsa. Noon to, I guess, I said the Vela Henderson Prudach to Kairaya. I guess the Dara play finish. Yeah, I think we know who's going to be played at the game today. A hat-trick for Cara Henderson, and she's obviously relishing this responsibility now as being the main striker for Thistle.
Yeah, listen, it's always extremely difficult to take one penalty, never mind two penalties in the same game, you know, but she's got enough power on it. Once again, she's went the same side, and when you've got that much power on it, onto the side netting, you're not giving the goalkeeper any chance, but yeah, it takes real character to step up to take a penalty, but two penalties in the one game. Excellent there from Henderson.
Argyle is on United. I guess Olivia Hurrell, Jean Edison, Katie Frew had a goal get Edu Vaulach. Fisker and Ish Kylche is on United. Keith Gignoni, I guess Smunich, Thistle vorige in a game of Lichtle Jin, Rachna Yoshin, a manche to Shinner, one smack at the Biachke. I guess Adi in Quinget. We have to remind ourselves, Emma, that Thistle are playing with 10 players, and you wouldn't know it.
Absolutely not. No, you wouldn't. I think Thistle have been tremendous today, and I was really looking forward to seeing how they would react, given off how well they done last season, managing to get to the top six. And what was important for them is obviously retaining Brian Manager as a manager. Their core group of players that they've managed to retain, and they've brought in real quality also to add to that. And they've got real depth in their squad now, and that's something that they failed at last season. You know, they were down to the bare bones at times towards the end of the season with a lot of injuries that they picked up, and the squad depth certainly wasn't there, and Brian Graham's recognised that and he's addressed that this season. So I think they've been tremendous today. You know, the attitude, the application of the players is very, very good.
Så det Kuhn stolt att jag skippat Jimmy Faulkner. Jag hoppas att så Linus, Megan Rob. Kan det sli upp för Macha sig chau. Slate up, Nico Adams. Suas je verwacht het hasje. Moet je dan wat terug voor Suas? Geen kans weer. Smith. Gaat het goedje, maar je vallen voor de lijn Gian Crush. Todd. Fijn, per Bosch en je schön. Ik kan eens kook minuutje in te gaan, ja, wat je gedaan hebt. Todd Maha. Beginning was Thistle in this. Hier die tachers kijk ik het steeds heel beter zijn. Fijne vallen was de Charlotte Kate heel erg in jene gauw. Dan is mijn boelig. Val ik je bal wil ik helemaal geen die bal. Into the last 5 minutes now, and it's really about game management now for Thistle. Something they've they've done from the first whistle here today?
Yeah, they have. I think they've managed the game extremely well. You know, they did have that drop in tempo, intensity round about the hour mark, which is natural. You know, you got fatigue setting in. They've worked their socks off. They've been playing at a very good level, managing the game, but they managed to ride that storm. However, you see them now, obviously they've brought fresh legs on there. They've capitalised on the errors that Dundee United have been making throughout the game. Their game management, as you said, has been very, very good, and it was vitally important for Partick Thistle to pick up the 3 points, the opening game of the season. Given that this fixture was actually reversed, it was supposed to be at United. Obviously there's some work going on up at Gussie Park, and Partick Thistle obviously bit their hand off to have that home fixture, the opening game of the season, to try and get points on the board, and they've certainly did that today. You know, what will obviously put a damper on their performance today will be if they concede a goal. You know, with Dundee United, obviously they have dropped off the pace of the game, but they're still pushing, you know, they're still trying.
Gebeurt een keer de teul gauw gewoon mag shots game. Agus at the nish to the minutes in the follow and with a few minutes of regulation time left. I think we know who's going to be the player of the game today.
yeah, there's only obviously one player of the game today that rolls off your tongue is Henderson. You know, she opened the scoring. She's playing in that number 9 role. You know, she's done it, managed it extremely well. Now we can see her out in the wider right position, but the execution of both penalties have been tremendous. You know, as I mentioned, when she scored the second one, it takes a lot of character, a lot of guts to step up and take a penalty in a game, but to do 2 penalties in one game is very, very good. And she's led from the front extremely well. She's led the line extremely well. You know, she's been obviously trying to be bullied at times by Jameson, but you know, she's managed it well. She's brought that physicality into the game, so I've been really, really impressed by Henderson. So yeah, she's the player of the match.
As de kite son een keer het teul is een kutje, dat we prachtig zo is een hui. Dat is een tolletje schinakel excited. I guess bij United je tolletje fijne valavo. Krach Partick leg de keer teul gauw. Jameson, al fattig, volknap zijn rotation, Knight. Eerst vanuit Jimmy Gilbert, Ferguson, ze daar op al een smoor. Rob. Tegen een via, Go Adams, Gairi, je daar zijn oorzaak. Als je het duwen ga je komen, Rob. Oh, hij is Carl Shinnetal. Ja, die Gishin. It's always interesting when the ball comes off a player like that. You just don't know where it's going to end up.
No, it was good pressing there by Vary Monroe. I think she's done well. You know, it's a player that I'm aware of. When she was younger, when I was playing myself, she was a very talented player coming through, and unfortunately she picked up that dreaded injury with the three letters. But you know, she's managed to get herself back on the pitch, back to a good level here in the SWPL 1. And she did extremely well since she came on. You know, she's chased the ball down. She's harried players, but on that occasion, when the goalkeeper comes out and lashes at the ball like that, you've got no idea where it's going to end up.
The vintage vergeten te doen, ja, was je tiction could be 3 minutes te doen, je waar kan stuurtje. Lawton, as het al. She is alive, yes. Hij should have gemaakt. Kienje geheen, als ik met Juve Hosha gechedek, snorsen vegen die jaren gedaan, die ook al pikken stochen. Daar gedaasje schön, bij Volkner, ik vind de United die wou leggen, dat hart zuur boeien, Gijssen, ze leeg geheen. Heb ik het na 10 minuten naar waar ik het gegeven. Dat wordt met zo'n Paulaart en is. Zeg het heel goed tegen agus ha. Karma shot, Todd, at je goed, agus kan door een je goed marcheers. That really was the chance for United to get on the score sheet. I mean, they would have wanted this to have fallen to someone like Rachel Todd, but she just couldn't keep the final effort low enough to be on target.
No, it was a by Del.
Thistle haast fiachan dí ruta cin na chrúchu ag cin Monroe agus drapsa Jade Wilson a Juno Mac leor Rob ma mish Nichal an Keisha farna pengi Adams a shis of the vowel agus vai fine usi o cool agus I the gogan again he had finished in a 3 minutes and the Gunya Varach the goal shachat. I'm not sure if it's just an accidental just stamp on the back of your heel, but it's a sore one.
Yeah, they are sore ones when you've got the studs coming down the back of your heel. You can obviously hear Claire's reaction, but no, it's good to see her back on her feet. And it's just obviously Partick Thistle now looking to obviously play these final 2-3 minutes out, try and keep the ball, not put themselves under pressure.
United re-macha union is just on few zoon to line. Allard, Suas the Ish, Gdian on the Sulan, Amy Bullock. Later, I guess Ferguson skip later, can count the bastion, but Jenna Ferguson. Smith, I guess the Norsen, Bullock, skip lachu. And it's actually Suas the line at Delworth. As we head into the last minute of added time, Emma, to summarise. Thistle looking good to replicate what they did last season, but could be a long campaign for Dundee United on the evidence of what we've seen today.
Yeah, I agree. I think Partick Thistle have been really good today. I've been so pleased with their performances, especially individual players as well. I think we've touched on Cara Henderson's been really good, St Clair's been good when she was on, Ferguson's dropped into that back line. I'm really impressed by Thistle, and they've certainly hit the ground running. On the other hand, I think United have struggled today, and I think that'll be the pattern as the season goes on.
Mi had China sa shot, agus mi had Kuchkin ein agus a ball gan Lian. As na smin ke at the kiln drain Danny McGinley mar was na gra agus Hanik shin kema anamach wel kore manamach ach ke shot. Agus ganur inte me night. Nu pe daraka chwa chidoch ko Megan Cunningham. Finally an effort on target, but a straight at Megan Cunningham from my night.
Yeah, Megan's not had much to do with anything at all today, but that's a comfortable save for Megan. You know, she's managed her back line extremely well, ensuring the concentration levels are there.
Sinead, a siachat a gysyn cordal as an Partick Thistle, Kate Gynioni ac I chamhal 3 pwngyn I the vart sy chiad game as y grian. Agus la tulich is on Graham Hart, a bre live ysyn at Brian Graham ac jidig y game. Agus chichat dainachig fadach gyn yfach in running game gyda clwchit down leis Cara Henderson nwafasach cwtrimach as on Thistle zgera fysyn le hat-trick fa lafan uach gyda Jade Wilson cynnach fysyn dy chilig jidig y game. Os yma cwyl yn cwtach gyfain hier to leich is on the game papasach en a club urig Partick Thistle agus Kate Tull agus gemak cornt al kunig at the clwchile Jenner as on a voorgoed jenne game as Joey gonna Arshigera kashin via the whole thing tra as the game some player Doherty agus hat a hard shin the Partick Thistle agus vacation on my Johan shin ach Peter Sill Corntal is on Partick Thistle 3 pwingen I the vort guys since Kate Tull show at Croch Patrick Partick Thistle Kate and the United in Johnny.
Sinead Mahad, Joe Hoshach Toshaki do Partick Thistle. As in the Bunyik, a Keith Gignoni, and I Dundee United. Well, Suzanne Lappin called them. Suzanne, 4-0 Partick Thistle, a comfortable afternoon.
Yeah, it was a comfortable afternoon. You know, they got off to that great start. You know, they lost the player with the red card, so it could have turned into a difficult afternoon. But you know, 4 goals and 3 points, so they'll be delighted.
And I think the thing that was really impressive, you touched on there, the red card. It was a game management in that second half. There was a couple of shots from Dundee United at the end, right enough, but overall it was great game management. Yeah, it was. We spoke about that. You know, it'd be important. You know, if they got in front, that game management, and they certainly did that. And then you know, the 2 penalties in the second half, and they got the 3 points in the end. Well, I think we're going to be joined now by someone who scored a hat-trick today, Cara Henderson. Welcome, Cara. Well done today. Cara, firstly, first game of the season, 4-0 win. Can't get better than that.
No, it was really good. I think, when we went down to 10 men, we still didn't panic and we kept going, and yeah, it's the brilliant way to start, but it's only start, so we need to keep pushing on from here.
Yeah, and Cara, I think, you showed some great combinations up top. It looks like the new signings have settled in well. How have they found coming into this Partick Thistle team?
Absolutely. They've been spot on, their attitude when they've come in, they've worked so hard, and you see even when people came off the bench, they were still there, part to play as well, so really enjoyed playing with them, and yeah, looking forward to the season.
We can have a look now at your first goal. Obviously the second and third were penalties, but the first one was it was great play initially by Lucy Sinclair running through the middle, and just talk us through it. What do you remember of it?
Well, I remember Lucy making the run, and it is a really great run. It's a great pass as well. I'm not sure who played it, but I just thought just be around to see if there's a scramble, and it's not the best approach. It's what I definitely look at.
You do enjoy playing Dundee United though. I think you scored in the 2 games against them last season, and just how was it the game overall? How did you feel the whole team coped with United?
Do you know what? I feel like we coped really well because they're a really good side. They've the 2 new centre backs, Jade and Nick. I played with them before, and they're both really good players. So very fit, very physical. But I thought the team coped really well with it.
How exciting is it to be a part of this Partick Thistle team at the moment? Obviously top 6 last season. Everyone was wondering how you were going to start this season.
Yeah.
How far do you think this team can go?
I think anything but top 6 we would find really disappointing this year. We made really good signings. We've got Brian, Ross and all the coaching staff as well pushing us every day, so it's really exciting, and why not try and go one better this year is our attitude.
Well, good luck for the rest of the season. Thank you for joining
so much,
us, Cara. I think we are going to be joined now by Brian Graham. He's going to join us here over my shoulder. There we go. Brian, welcome, and well done today. Happy with that?
Absolutely delighted. Obviously it's vital the first game you get 3 points, but in the manner that we did, especially going down to 10 players, the way the group stuck together, the game plan we'd prepared for the last couple of weeks, everything came off today, and I thought my team were fantastic.
Yeah, agreed. I think your team were fantastic. We spoke about when you come back out in the second half, it was important. The next goal was always going to be crucial. Did you set your team up to sort of game management in that second half, and just say try and get the third goal and kill the game?
No, we did say that. We said even though we were down to 10 players, we were still getting bodies forward, we were still pressing quite high. I did say to the girls that after an hour we're going to change shape and go 4-4-1 to get a bit of game management, show the game up. And I think once we did that as well, just implemented what we were trying to do, we were still going forward. I thought the subs had a good impact as well. The depth in the squad we're trying to build here has been excellent. Pre-season went really well, and I think you've seen that today with the togetherness and the way they were willing to work for each other. Claire Dock's been sent off, I think, a bit harshly, but listen, it happens in football. Yes, we're disappointed in it, but the girls stood up to it, and every player to a man were brilliant.
You touched on the Claire Doherty piece. How big a loss is that, considering it's Glasgow City next week?
It is a loss, but if we're being honest, Claire's missed a bit of pre-season as well. She's not up to full speed. She was probably only going to play an hour today. We actually thought about playing Jennifer from the start, but you've seen young girl coming in. We've got her on loan from Rangers. She had the cigar out today. She was phenomenal. She was fantastic. And such composure at such a young age. It was great to watch.
Yeah.
Well done today, Brian. Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.
Enjoy the rest of the season.
Can't believe we never spoke about Cara. Scored the hat-trick. I'm absolutely thrilled for her, by the way. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Brian. Yeah, as you would expect, Brian Graham absolutely delighted there with his team's performance. And we can have a look now at Rosie McQuillan's goal, a new signing, and it was just more great play from Partick Thistle.
Yeah, I think so. McQuillan doing, what you want all strikers to do at that back post and get in there. She's took her goal well. She'll be delighted, on her league debut for Partick Thistle to get that goal. And as you say, it's a typical Partick Thistle goal. Good play, ball across, and McQuillan's there to finish. Yeah,
absolutely brilliant finish there. And we can have, obviously that wasn't the end of the action. That was the first half, of course. And then it was 2 penalties in the second half. And there was question marks about the referee in the first half and the red card, but there was no question about the penalty decisions. It was 2 stonewallers. No, we were right next to the penalties, and both were, absolute penalties. I think I was going to ask Cara the question, how often does she practice her penalties, because they were 2 very, very good penalties. We're seeing a lot of penalties at the moment with the Women's World Cup and things on, and you can see there that as a striker, no one else is taking that ball. She's confident, and it's, as I say, it's 2 really good penalties. Just final thoughts from you, Suzanne, for the first game of the afternoon, of course. What have we learned about these 2 sides? Is it still too early to say?
I think, you know, as Brian touched on, it was important for Partick Thistle at home to get those 3 points. And as Cara touched on, I think they will be disappointed if they don't finish in the top 6. And, you know, by today's performance, there's no reason why they can't do that, you know, and maybe push even further up the table. I think Dundee United, you know, they are a difficult team to beat. You know, it's important that they regroup, pick themselves up and go again.
This, of course, was the first game of the afternoon. We still have another one coming up at 5 o'clock. Glasgow City against Hibernian. Tee us up for that one.
Yeah, two rivals in the women's game. You know, that rivalry goes back a long time. You know, Hibs, I think, you know, we spoke about last season, bit of a team in transition. They'll be looking to be, you know, much improved on last season. And Glasgow City, the champions, you know, anything other than a win here for them today is, you know, they'll be setting that out as their stall to get the 3 points.
Let's see what happens. Suzanne, thank you for now. You'll be back, of course, for that second game, and Emma Black as well. Ach, díadach mas halashing, díadach cwyd na'r farach na haddi hiing y sio y diwedd BBC Alba. Well, Glasgow City, mae'r afasi y gran hyn, Glasgow City yn ei Hibernian. Syn, torsgwg ag coig ywydden, agos nôr sy'n siachgang y diw, yn na hachgang, be sy'n Conley Rangers yn skip y chdiach nich, sy'n tres y farche yn yddi gydera bias yn y gamas ydy gol. Ceimen yn na siar blin sy'n asan y dol yn ei opper eng. Agos nôr sy'n ag jedig y fi sy'n siach na laff ich et jan o lwn ystal ag ceadwydden y gemwr gydera hawn Rangers y dol yn ei Glasgow City gemwr gydera hawn ag mwlach y lig. Sy'n chafwr fwyng y sio idd BBC Alba son y hyd game ac yn game yma gyma cordal ga Partick Thistle as yn y bwynig y cead gynion i ffich gybysif idd as col ag coe gwydden.